Raider Nation, we are live, and we got some breaking news. The Las Vegas Raiders, they have gone out and they have signed cornerback Eric Stokes. He is a former first-round pick out of the University of Georgia who was drafted by the Green Bay Packers at number 19 overall back in the 2021 NFL Draft. Coming up here on today's show, I'm going to tell you why I am actually really fired up the fact that the Raiders went out and got him, and I decided to go back live because my promise is always this. When the Raiders make a move that I really like, that excites me, I'm going to pull up here and I'm going to tell you why I'm excited about it. And I hope that we get a bunch of Raiders fans that are really excited about this move as well. Because if you believe in Patrick Graham, if you believe in Pete Carroll, if you believe in this coaching staff, you should like the move of Stokes. I know that he has struggled from time to time. He's struggled in the coverage game. He's struggled against the run. But coming off arguably maybe his best year as a pro this past season, where he had an overall grade of 61.3, a coverage grade of 62.4. The run grade is a little bit lower than what you'd like to see, but you got a young man here who, again, really good athlete, 25, 26 years old, has played in 45 games in his NFL career, 32 starts, only one interception, and again, he has struggled in coverage where, I'm going to be real, I talked to some of our people here at Chat Sports, talked to our Packers guy, and he was like, don't look at the coverage grades as much as what you should. It's not as... He's been worse than what the numbers suggest in that, but only at 1 year, $4 million deal. Here's how I would look at it if I was a Raiders fan. When the Raiders signed Caleb Chasen last season, a lot of people were like, oh, this guy was a first-round bust, blah, 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 blah. But I sat up here and I said, if you believe in Rob Leonard, if you believe in Patrick Graham, you should take a chance on Caleb because you know that that coaching staff can mold and develop a player like that with also somebody along the lines of Maxx Crosby and a very inexperienced line. You got to have almost that exact same thought process with John Spytek, with Pete Carroll, because this organization, Marcus Robinson on top of that, but especially Carroll. The one thing Carroll has always had an eye for and a knack for is being able to find freakish cornerbacks and then developing them into really good players. I'm not going to sit up here and say that Eric Stokes has been a good player in the NFL. He's definitely hasn't been lived up to in terms of the first-round hype. But if you believe in player development and if you believe in the track record that the Raiders have with this organization, with this current regime, then you should honestly be pretty fired up about this Eric Stokes signing. So give me an A, B, C, D, or F down below. Let me know how y'all are feeling about this move. We got over 1,600 people here watching this show, and here's how this bad boy is going to work. I'm going to go through, I'm going to tell you everything that you need to know about this show. Think of it as like when Shugs and I usually go live on a Tuesday. We'll sit here, we'll do a cut, we'll break it all down for 15 minutes, and then my promise to all y'all, I'm going to give you the best damn happy hour that I possibly can go out there and do if you want to celebrate the move. If you don't want to celebrate the move, believe me, I totally get it. But after sitting around all freaking day today and not getting anything, Chugs and I were live for 5, 6 hours, I felt like I was fishing. Well, you know what? I feel like I finally caught something, and I'm not going to lie, I'm kind of ready to get this thing rocking and rolling. Because also there were some other moves that happened, like literally as soon as we end the live, Justin Reed ends up signing, and we kind of told you. We kind of told you it was going to happen. The Raiders are going to end up signing somebody the moment that we stop being live. So I'm going to give some shout-outs here. I see Steven Bryant's going to go D+. Rob's going to go D. So I'm going to guess you don't believe in the staff. That's okay. You're allowed to have it. Legendary Jimmy Gaming's going to go A+. Raider Nation 80's going to go with a C. I see Swingin's going to go with a D. Agent Red B. So this to me is a very controversial type of move, and I see Seth puts in a C. To me right now, I look at this as an average move. If it was up to me, I would put this as a C grade right now. I would like for the Raiders to still be able to go out and add a veteran that Stokes could be able to potentially learn underneath, where, you throw out a name like Stephon Gilmore. I think Stephon Gilmore actually would be a pretty good move for the Raiders to bring in if they wanted to be able to sit there and learn with them. But also on top of that, it's not a lot of money, and you can go out and you can see if you can develop him as a solid player. I don't know. He has the chance. So, this to me could be one of those moves that we look back and go, you know what? That was a B grade. That was a good signing. Because in my mind, I would look at the Caleb Chasen as a C move that turned into a B. That's kind of what you're hoping here for Eric Stokes and this organization. I want to play some games. You know that I like to hang out and have a good time here. Here's what we're going to do. 500 likes, we're going to play Tune O'Clock. Got some Fireball. If I'm going to do this, we're going to do this the right way. And if you're an OG Raiders Report watcher, I hope you show some of these newbies how we get down around here. If you want to get in on the Brandon Jasper jersey, we've been signing names left and right, and I know a lot of people maybe didn't get the opportunity because you've been working. I know a lot of people are just getting off work now and are just seeing it because we got the breaking news. But if you want to get on the Brandon Jasper jersey, $10 super chat. We're going to write it, and then we're going to send it out to his family. You want to get in our duck race? I say we run another one. $20 Venmo at Mitchell Renz 365. And then every single time somebody bangs here on today's show, we're going to throw one back. And during happy hour, I got an even special deal. I'll be real with you. If you want to party, be ready to party in about 20 minutes from now, because we are going to light the roof here on fire, and I can't wait to freaking do it, man. Let's go to Jay Blixer Inspections. I'm excited about this. He is young, and I believe our coaching staff will set him up on the right path. Blixer, I'm kind of with you in this exact same realm of I get why the Raiders did it. And I was actually going to do a video tonight on some of the ideas that I have. So you know what? Based on that thought, I'm going to save it, and I'm going to try to put it at the very, very end of today's show on Eric Stokes, because there is something that the Raiders essentially did today that I just find to be pretty interesting. And overall, I kind of wanted to be able to just share my thoughts on some of the things that I've been thinking about, because there's one thing that the Raiders have done that I don't know if is getting enough attention, and it makes me honestly even a little bit more confident in somebody like a Geno Smith. So here you go. Will Stokes be a starter in the secondary? Give me a yes, give me a no. Chugs, I know you're behind the scene. What do you think? And maybe that's not fair. Sorry, Chugs didn't have his mic on yet. I look at Stokes and I go, this is somebody that's going to compete with Jack Jones. Jacorian's better than Eric Stokes, and I think that the team knows that. To me, this is, hey, Jack Jones, Eric Stokes, two players that I know when you got your head on right, both players could be good guys. And if this is an organization that wants to add a little bit of extra competition to its cornerback room, I sit here and I go, all right, Jack Jones, Eric Stokes, I kind of get it. Chuggy Bull, what are you thinking, man? Do you think he's going to be a starter? You watch a little bit more college football than I do, but it has been at least a little while ago.
He was drafted mainly based on his athletic ability and his measurables.
Yep.
Ran like a 4.4 at the comp. Oh, Evil Mitch. Oh, no, wait. No, that's wrong, Mitch. It was Raider Mitch who won earlier. I just texted my oldest brother, who's a huge Packers fan. He watches every single Packers game during the season. I just texted him, is Eric Stokes good? Raiders just signed him. So I'm waiting on him to get back to me with what he thinks of Eric Stokes. I think it's just a guy who has a lot of athletic raw ability and just hasn't had a good coach to mold him in the NFL. He's been up and down with that Packers secondary. At least at the very, very bottom of everything, you get a good special teamer. Somebody who's a gunner on your punt team who's very, very athletic, very fast. I just worry, from my memory of him, I worry about some of the similar things of Jack Jones, of biting on double moves. And even though he has that really good speed, the thing that worries me is the short area quickness, like the 3-cone and stuff like that. Yeah.
I mean, I would look at this type of move as, again, you got to be able to say, I can sit here and I can paint the picture. I believe in this coaching staff. But I totally agree with you on that. Eric Stokes at times is one of those players where I'm not going to put as extreme as an Alex Leatherwood, but sometimes when you're on really talented football teams, you yourself look a little bit better. And then when everybody else is a little bit more on an even playing field, you kind of get exposed a little bit more. That's how I look at somebody like Eric Stokes, right? I don't want to, comparing him to Alex Leatherwood's crazy, but to a Raiders fan, Alex Leatherwood would look good in college because he was playing against guys who were making him look better overall. And that's how I would look here at somebody like Eric Stokes. But no doubt this guy has upside. I mean, I'm looking right now at his NFL Combine athleticism score, 82 production score, 84 total score, 88. They thought he would be eventually a plus starter, which, again, he went in the first round. But I'm telling you this, I like this move by the Raiders. I think it's low-key a good move, a sneaky move, if you will. Raiders missed most of the stream today. Work, but just got out and saw this. Not too familiar with Stokes. What are his strengths? Outside corner. He's an outside corner. He's somebody who's going to be a pretty physical guy, really, really good athlete, but the technique, it's raw. He is Caleb Von Chasen as a cornerback. I think that honestly is such a good description of how Raiders fans may visualize him. Really good athlete, maybe not put in the right situation, but if you believe in your coaching staff, then this should be a move that I think could really fire you up here a little bit. Let's go to Evil Mitch. Do you see we got 2 6-round picks, 11 picks? Woo. So that's actually not true. The way that you got to look at it is the reason why I've only ever talked about the Raiders having 9 picks is because it was expected. I would look at today as being it's officially official. The Raiders have 9 picks. So the 2 picks that I've been showing y'all in mock drafts and just in drafts in general, because the Raiders were expected to get 2 6th-round picks. Like, if you look at a lot of my mocks, I was off by 1. I was going with 212 and 214. But if you look at the picks the Raiders got today, it's 213 and 215. So this was going to be something that I talked about, and maybe it's something that we hit at the end of that Eric Stokes video since somebody already brought it up. But we don't have 11 picks. We have 9 picks. Think of the comp picks today as it is now officially official that the Raiders have 9 picks. Rustin, what? Yeah, we used to have 10. Now we have 9. Rustin, what's up, Mitch and Chugs? I'm looking forward to us signing Tyler and Cooper and then slide back a couple spots to grab Ashton. Brock is our 1. Raider Nation for life. I don't mind the idea at all of you trading back a little bit, though I'm not on board to Amari Cooper at all. Tyler Lockett could be interesting. And something, I want to talk about the offense at least a little bit in the video that I'll talk about here in a little bit. But actually really do like the idea of the Raiders trying to trade back here and trying to accumulate some more picks, because the way that they're spending money, I don't mind it. They're finding good, serviceable starters at really reasonable prices, where Stokes might not be the guy that you want to be your cornerback 2 and Jacorian number 1. But I don't think having Jack Jones and Eric Stokes compete for cornerback 3, compete for cornerback 4 is a bad move at all. You know what I'm saying? Like, those are 2 high guys that people can think play pretty well. And if they go out there and they compete, it might make the best out of them. V. Jaden, you aren't junk yet. Tuned in at 9 a.m. and saw you booming and chugging. I'll tell you this right now. We ended up stopping live probably, 2 hours ago? A little over, 2 hours ago. I ate some food, hydrated, I thought, really, really well. Evan Ingram going. Oh, that's a lie. Evan Ingram visiting with the Chargers. Excuse me. Visiting with the Chargers, and then the Broncos after that. Oh, he visited the Broncos today, and he's meeting with the Chargers. He's trying to boost his stock a little bit. Trying to boost it. I'm definitely feeling pretty good. I'm not going to sit up here and lie to y'all. But at the exact same time, when breaking news happens, I would compare it to, imagine the morning you're hungover and you're just really tired, and then something happens. It's that adrenaline rush that you get, and that's why I'm telling you, we're going to give it everything we got here for an hour. Nope. Blake Goodwin. What up, man? Excuse me. If our D-line feasts like we all think, then our cornerback and safeties are going to feast too. Where if your defensive line can get after with 4, Stokes is an aggressive player. Jack Jones is an aggressive player. Jacorian at times has been pretty aggressive. I thought he was a little bit more reserved this past season. I think he just understood the speed of the game a little bit more, which you could definitely see on tape. But at the same time, I agree. If we can get after with 4, we're going to be a lot better than what people think. Let's go to Blake Goodwin, and then I want to get into the cut here, breaking down to the news of the Raiders going out, signing Eric Stokes, and why I'm kind of stoked about it. I know, you knew that was going to happen. Just saw we were getting 2 comp picks, both 6 rounds for this year. How did we get them? It's from other players going and signing elsewhere. So, we knew that the Raiders were going to lose certain players, and because they... Huh? Yeah, we'll probably get one from Eric, but they get him next year. So, who were 2 big... Honestly, I'm kind of drawing the blanks on it, but they're from last year. One's from Amik Robertson, and then another one is from... Who was another free agent that we wanted the Raiders to bring back last year, but we couldn't? I know one of the 6 is from the Meek, and I can't think of the other one. So it is what it is, but that's how the comp pick system works. Was it Jacobs? Josh Jacobs. Okay. So that's how it works. So, if the Raiders, next year, if my math is mathing correctly, I had it written down somewhere. I'll go back and I'll look. Bilal Nichols what? Oh. Bilal Nichols. Yes, defensive tackle. Jesus. Isn't that sad? Bilal Nichols in my mind. I actually went to Jeremy McNichols. That's embarrassing. Coming up here on the show, let's get into the breaking news around the Raiders going out and signing Eric Stokes. And then after that, get your drinking pants on. We're about to get wild here on the Raiders Report. Raiders breaking news coming at you here from Mitchell Renz, host of the Raiders Report in the Silver and Black. They have gone out and they have signed cornerback Eric Stokes. I like this move, and you could even say that I'm stoked about it. Spam it down below. Give me a badats, whatever you want to give. But to me, I felt like all day the Raiders were a team that, when you go out fishing, you're looking for that move, and finally, we're able to reel something in. I'm not going to lie to y'all. This is a player that if you believe in Pete Carroll, if you believe in this organization, if you believe in our defensive coaching staff, which honestly, I really, really think that people should, this should be a move that at least excites you a little bit. He's a really good athlete. 6 foot, 195 pounds, was a first-round pick out of Georgia, number 29 overall to the Green Bay Packers, just back in 2021. The reason why that I have confidence in Eric Stokes is because I have confidence in Pete Carroll. The way that I would explain this signing to Raiders fans in the most simplest way possible that comes to my mind right now, when the Raiders signed Caleb Chasen last season, if you hit the panic button, I understand why, because everybody was telling you Caleb Chasen is a bust. But I believed in Rob Leonard. I believed in Patrick Graham. If you have that exact same thought process, I think that you should like what in a young man here in Eric Stokes. But look at his coverage stats. This is where people are going to poke holes in his game because this is where his biggest, I think, some of his issues are. I'll admit, when you go look at some of the PFF grades, and the PFF grades honestly are not bad. But when you are a first-round pick, you have higher expectations. And I think because he has some of those higher expectations, people are definitely a little bit more judgmental of him. And it's deserving so. He has not lived up to that first-round pick overall. So what I want to know down below is this. I want to know a one-word reaction to the signing of Eric Stokes. 1 year, $4 million. This is going to be the pinned comment on today's show, which is the number one thing I want you to answer to. So you're about to get it with the YouTube ad break. Scroll on down and give me your answer. Believe. I believe in Pete Carroll. I believe in this coaching staff. And that's why I believe in this Eric Stokes move. Sometimes, you don't really realize some of these minor moves that end up being really good ones where, again, Caleb Chasen was a player that nobody really believed in. First-round pick out of LSU, washed away and ends up having a career year, 5 sacks with the Raiders. Think about a player like Malcolm Kuntz. You believed in him, and we were excited about him coming back because of Rob Leonard. The one thing that Pete Carroll has historically been able to do is build defensive backs, whether it's corners, whether it's safeties. His expertise in that department, I really think is looked at almost like somebody like a Rob Leonard. Joe Woods is a well-respected DB coach. Somebody along the lines like Marcus Robinson is a well-respected coach. And then on top of that, Patrick Graham is a damn good coach. So because of all of those people, you should believe in Eric Stokes, where I was live on the Raiders Report, and I am live right now. And I was saying, if I were to give this a grade, I would give it a C grade that might be able to turn into a B. Just like Caleb Chasen last season, I thought was a good move, an average move that turned into a good move. And not every single move that you're going to make is going to be a slam dunk. But if you want the opportunity to be competing in the playoffs, a long trip, you need solid depth players. And to me, I look at somebody like Eric Stokes as being a good overall depth player that you can add to some of the moves that the Raiders have already made here in free agency because they've been really stacking it up on the defensive side of the football. So to me, they're going out there and they want guys that can compete. Like Alex Kappa is the only offensive player that this team signed, and I think it's because they know him personally, so they felt okay to be able to bring him in from a depth perspective. Maxx Crosby, defense. Gino's obviously the quarterback. I'll talk about this more in a second. Adam Butler on the defensive side of the football. Jeremy Chin, the defense. Malcolm Kuntz, defense. Lonnie Johnson Jr., defense. Landon Roberts, defense. And now again, you're going with Eric Stokes here on defense. I know that a lot of Raiders fans are worried that you're losing out on Trevon Merrick, Robert Spillane. You're losing out on Nate Hobbs. I hear you loud and clear. But if there was one thing that Pete Carroll's teams have always preached, if there's one thing that Pete Carroll's teams for a fact are going to bring, and it's the word he says all the time, it probably should have been my one-word reaction: compete. So you're telling me right now we're going to put Eric Stokes, a round one talent, up against Jack Jones, a player that we know has talent, but sometimes Jack needs a little bit of an extra, bump in the back here. Because when he's had that father figure, which I hope Antonio Pierce and Jack Jones will get mad at me for using that term, but, when Antonio Pierce has been that guy in Jack Jones' corner that believes in him, that pushes him, you've seen the best version out of Jack Jones. So if I'm the Raiders, I'm looking at a young man in Jacorian Bennett. That's my number one cornerback right now. But I don't really want Jacorian to be a number one. I want Jacorian to be a cornerback number two. So then Eric Stokes and Jack Jones, right now as it stands, they can go out there and they can battle for that final cornerback spot. I like that idea. If you told me Eric Stokes and Jack Jones are cornerback 3, cornerback 4, I don't think that that's a problem to be in at all. That still gives us an opportunity then to go out and get another good corner in the NFL draft. This is low-key a good move by the Raiders. And again, it's not a move that's going to light up big billboards. But sometimes you got to have those good underlining moves because you need a long season ahead and a team that was absolutely zapped by injuries last season. And you saw we did not have good depth. It doesn't surprise me the amount of smart moves that this Raiders team is going out there and they're doing, but I also think that the Raiders waited for something, and I think that they waited for a certain reason to go out and make a move today, and I'm going to tell you why I think that they did exactly that. Before I do, hey, shout out to our awesome sponsor here. They're hooking us up with some Raiders jerseys. If you need a new Raiders jersey because maybe you had a Merrick Spillane or a Hobbs one, go to chatsports.com/Raiders jerseys. We got some OGs, some Hall of Famers in there, hundreds, and I mean hundreds of different jerseys. I'll also say this. If you're like, Mitch, I don't need a jersey, but that shirt you got on is fresh. That jacket you got on is fresh. If you go to chatsports.com/Raiders jerseys, you click on that link, and then you type in the search bar, Raiders jackets. You type in that search bar, Raiders t-shirts. I don't know if it's still available, but that's where I got it, and I think that you guys might be able to get it there too. That link's going to be available to y'all down in the comments, down in the description here of today's show. So here's one of the reasons why I think the Raiders waited all day today to go out and sign a player. And hear me out, and this is literally just something that I was literally thinking about because I was going to make a show late tonight about why the Raiders didn't make any moves. And now, obviously, I know the Raiders made a move, but do we all agree with this statement? The Raiders have been safe so far in free agency, and you can tell that they are thinking about every decision very methodically. To me, I would answer that question as a yes. So if you're the Las Vegas Raiders and something just happened where you got NFL draft comp picks, and I've had a lot of people ask me, Mitch, does that mean the Raiders have 11 comp picks or 11 draft picks now? No, the Raiders do not have 11 draft picks. We only have 9, but I've been saying that we've had 9 because it's been expected, and when I say it's expected, it was like a 99% chance that the Raiders were going to have 6th-round picks. So me, when I did mock drafts, when I did all these other moves, I already went ahead and I said, I believe that you're going to have a 6th-round pick. So we still only have 9 picks. But it is officially official. My point is, if you were the Raiders and you were a little bit maybe unsure if you were going to get one of those 6 picks for whatever reason, you could have waited to sign somebody that was a little bit maybe of a bottom-level roster. Here's the other reason why I am just this much more confident in a guy like Geno Smith. Think about how methodical, again, and careful this Raiders organization has been. The only player that they have signed on offense is Alex Kappa. Again, somebody that is John Spytek's guy and somebody that organization trusts. Every other position, every other spot that they've re-signed or signed has been on the defensive side of the football. And I almost wonder, and I've been somebody that's been sitting up here going, I want a wide receiver. I want Mekhi Becton. I want offensive line. I want offense, which is because we've had a lot of defense. Imagine if an organization, because technically this trade isn't officially official yet, right? And that trade doesn't become officially official until the new league year, which is 4 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow. What if, and imagine how mad you would be if the Raiders went out and signed some players that we thought was going to be a good fit with Geno Smith, and then a contract issue happens. I've seen so many different shit with the Raiders, from Cliff Kingsbury to other teams' deals backing out on them. Like, there was a report earlier yesterday, the Jordan Schultz one. He thought that Milton Williams, I think, was going to go to the Carolina Panthers, and he ended up going, to the New England Patriots. Sometimes deals are thought to be done, and they're not done. So imagine how mad you would have been if the Raiders would have spent some money on offense to go out and get a player, and then some bullshit happens, and it can even be on Seattle's side why that trade gets thrown away, and now it doesn't happen. I'm a believer that the Raiders are going to be really active tomorrow because of the amount of things that are going to become officially official, and then the money that you're going to get from cutting Andre James, the move and money that you're going to be able to get from moving on from Gardner Minshew. And I've been sitting around waiting. Are the Raiders going to trade away Andre James? I could see some of these teams now that finally got that officially official comp pick saying, okay, now we can go ahead and we can make this move before the new league begins. But I also want Raider fans, and I'm going to leave it like this because, again, I think tomorrow is actually going to be a little bit of a crazier day, obviously, than what today was. So make sure you're subscribed. Make sure those notifications are turned on. But think about how methodical and careful the Raiders have been. Think about it. Think about how big of a risk you thought it was for the Raiders to go out and trade for Geno Smith and give up a 3rd-round pick. In my mind, I think the Raiders are so effing confident in how good Geno Smith is going to be that they said, we're getting ready to pay you $40 to $45 million a year, and we're going to give up a 3rd-round pick. Why? Because that organization believes in Geno Smith that much. Seeing the way that this organization has operated this entire offseason, especially in free agency, and knowing how much I believe in this organization, I am so much more locked into Geno Smith being a Raider of this team, and I'm excited to see what the future holds for the Silver and Black, because I honestly do believe this is the regime that is finally going to figure it out for the Raiders, because they are doing things like a smart organization does, and I hope that you're ready for a big day tomorrow, because I think it's going to be a wild, wild day. If you want to see some of the other moves that happened after we ended our live show, Justin Reed ended up going to the New Orleans Saints. Sam Martin, punter, Kevin Gibbons, Robert Tonyan ended up going to the Kansas City Chiefs. Johnny Hecker to the Titans. Jacoby Brissett going to the Arizona Cardinals. Cole Christensen, linebacker. Brady Christensen, guard. Nick Neiman, linebacker, ends up going to the Houston Texans. Nick Westbrook was a little bit upset about this one. This is a guy that I would have liked the Raiders to sign, but after everything I just said about Geno, I can understand why they didn't make any moves today on the offensive side of the football. Ashton Javis to DeAndre Hopkins. This was a big one where, I'm not going to lie, my heart skipped a beat when I saw DeAndre and then I saw R.A. I'm like, no effing way, man. He's going to the Baltimore Ravens. Xavier Wood, interesting move there by Tennessee. And then Devin Bush, he ended up just going to the Browns. But the latest move, the Las Vegas Raiders, they just signed Eric Stokes to a one-year, $4 million deal. If you believe in Pete Carroll, if you believe in this coaching staff, there's no denying that he's got talent. He's going to compete with Jack Jones for a cornerback 3, cornerback 4 battle with this type of coaching staff. I'm going to be honest with you. This is a sneaky good move. C grade right now. I think it can turn into a B. Eric Stokes, I promise you this. You go out there, you show out for Raider Nation, and you be that cornerback that this team has desperately, desperately needed, a true outside dog for a long time, we will rally behind you, and I hope that we get to see it this season, and I hope that we get to see a very, very good defense for the Las Vegas Raiders. All right, y'all, I'm ready to get this thing going, and I hope after watching that show, I really sat down and I thought about it long and hard, giggity, about why I do like this move. And I do. I like this move. And it's not a slam dunk move again. But you know what? That's, again, one of those bottom-of-the-level roster moves that we might not look at right now and go, man, that was a great move. But we could sit here at the end of the season and go, I can't believe Eric Stokes, who's only 25 years old, ended up being able to put it together with somebody like Pete Carroll. I think that that's a pretty believable thing. So here's the deal. We're putting 30 minutes on the clock. And Alex is at home, Danny's at home, and we said this, I'm ready to party, I'm ready to get going. Every single $100 super chat, every single bang, I'm throwing down a beer bong, and we're adding 5 minutes to the show. So the way that we're doing this is this. If y'all want to stay and party with us, you can keep this show going as long as you want. But also at the same time, we got here to work today at 7:30. I'll be real. I'm ready to go, right? I'm down to get down for a little bit, no doubt about it. But we've been here, 12, almost 13 hours. I don't want to keep Chugs too long. But at the end of the day, we do understand this is our job. But you also got to understand what I don't want is I don't really want to hang out here. And I mean that to be not in a rude way. But if you guys don't want to get down and party with us, that's okay. But at the same time, let's answer some questions. We can get out of here in 30 minutes. It's all good. But if you want to keep us and you want to get wild, there's the deal. Let's do it. What up, Colton? How much cap do the Raiders have left? I keep getting these in, bro. I feel really bad, but there's so much stuff that's going to happen tomorrow once the new league year becomes officially official. One of the numbers that I saw today, because when I was trying to do the math, I had it somewhere around $39 million. But then again, there's so much things that are going to change, even especially when the Geno Smith contract happens, that's going to change it up a lot. If you're a Raiders fan, and I mean this, don't worry about the salary cap. And that sounds crazy, but this team has money to spend. They're going to be able to spend money. They're going to be able to add talent. But sitting there trying to figure out what the salary cap is for the Raiders, I think you're going to drive yourself insane, because I don't know if actually anybody truly knows the actual number right now. I just picture Tom Delaney up there pumping out numbers in his computer trying to figure it out. What up, Mark Coffey? We need to draft T-Mac, sign Najee. Najee's already gone. Trent Sherfield signing with the Broncos on a 2-year, $8 million deal. Najee's already gone. Get an offensive line. I also like cornerback Murphy. I'll tell you this. You definitely need to start watching this live show more. Byron Murphy's gone. Byron Murphy went to the Minnesota Vikings, Monday? I think that one was Monday. I like the idea of Teteroa McMillan as well, number 1 receiver, and Geno does need an outside guy. Let's go to Jamal Calhoun. I'll tell you this, just saying that out loud. If they were nervous, I wonder if they just thought, from the jump, we're going to be able to get McMillan at number 6. Interesting. Jamal, with all this defense, probably offense in the draft, I hear you, but I hope my long tangent there on why the Raiders haven't done anything on the offensive side of the football makes sense. If you're not, if it's not 100%, it's not yet. It's not officially official that Geno Smith is the Raiders quarterback. I think going out and making a lot of moves on offense, like that's a huge risk that this team has already shown me in free agency. They're not a team that's going to go out there and I think pay a lot of big risks. And I think that's what we've seen. My man, Cast Joey. What's up, brother? Oh, it's all right. You know what? Let's pour it up. Let's pour it up here, Cast. Okay signing. If he could stay healthy and get back to his rookie year, then cool. If not, it's a whatever move. I was hoping we'd be more aggressive in getting starting impact players. So far, disappointed. You know, and I get it. And I can understand why some people are a little bit upset. But also, when you look at a lot of the moves that they've made on defense, I can understand why they did what they did because they're trying, instead of just going out and paying one player a lot of money, can you potentially sign two players at a cheaper contract to try to do almost the exact same thing that you're losing? But, Cast, I got to add you to the Brandon Jasper jersey. Absolutely love it, man. Let's go to Dodge. I think Xavier Watts, day one starter in the second round. Out of Notre Dame, it's somebody that I do know for a fact that the Raiders like a lot. I actually think that they also met with him at the NFL Combine, if my memory serves me correct. But Xavier Watts is a really good player. And if I was Watts, I would love the opportunity to go play with Pete Carroll. It's just, hopefully, he acts like Earl Thomas on the field and not does all the shenanigans Earl did off the field. What up, Rondo? Seeing Bennett's development with PG, it's a solid move. And I think like you got to see, Jacorian is another good example of that. I'll admit our cornerback coach last season was a little bit different. Ricky Manning Jr. is somebody that I do like quite a bit. But if you believe in this coaching staff, I think you should believe in Eric Stokes. What up, my man, Nathan Wolf? Nathan, I'm going to add you to the jersey. I got you. Mr. Wolf. Be nice to have a rookie quarterback. Be able to work free agency like the Vikes in Denver and Commanders. Not sure if we got overall better only at quarterback. You know, there's still a lot of offseason yet to be had, and we'll see what ends up happening. And I hear you loud and clear, but here's the one thing, right? If you're telling me right now our quarterback gets better and it's Geno Smith versus Gardner Minshew and Geno Smith versus Gardner Minshew and Aiden O'Connell, I mean, you already got 3 wins significantly better there. You know what I'm saying? Like where I get losing out on all those defensive players stinks. But gaining Geno Smith is a bigger win and gain for the Raiders than if you would have told me right now, and I'm dead freaking serious when I say this, either Geno Smith is the Raiders quarterback and we're able to, and we don't get the 3 guys that we lost, or we're sticking with Aiden O'Connell, Gardner Minshew, and then we bring back Trevon Merrick, Robert Spillane, and Nate Hobbs. I pick the Geno Smith side every single day of the week, and it's not even close. So I get that we lost some key pieces on defense. Eric Sanchez! Bang! Hey, man, somebody's got to be the first person to walk out in the middle of the dance at a 6th grade dance, and I know this. Eric Sanchez is the guy to do it. If y'all don't spam ES down below, get out of here, man. Get out of here, man. Unflippin' believable, dude. Eric Sanchez. Chugs, I'm going to suck this down. Giggity. Can you give some shout-outs?
Let's go. Ron Raspberry, Chad Fisher, Agent Red, Ray Romero, Steven Santiago, OG Bloodstain, Chicken Nugget, Mike Nintendo name. Master. Let's go.
What's your favorite thing? What's your favorite dipping sauce for a chicken nugget?
Ketchup.
Really?
Yeah. I like a lot of sauces, but the OG ketchup is probably my number 1.
Oh my God. Ketchup? I do like ketchup and honey. Have you ever had ketchup and honey? Yeah. Try it. Just try it. When I was a kid, ketchup and honey, mix it together, chicken nugget, little dip.
Mitch, I think you're describing barbecue sauce.
No, I think it's ketchup with honey. It tastes very different. If you just said ketchup, I've had barbecue sauce. Danville's not that bad. Loco Renegade. Loco, you're going on the Brandon Jasper jersey. I got you, my man. I love this move. Go Dogs. All right, so you're just a Georgia fan? Or, how about this? As a Raiders fan, I want your honest opinion. I don't want just, I'm a Georgia guy, therefore I love the move. I want you to look at me and be like, all right, this is what I actually want. Also, I got Maelstrom. I got you, my man. This from the other day, not the other day, literally today. I did say that I wanted to do a duck race, and we are going to do a duck race. It's a $20 Venmo at Mitchell Renz 365. Today is going to be a quick oiled machine giggity. I see Nathan Wolf, you're in. I see Stephen Corbell, you're in. And then I also got, oh wait, Corbell, you're in for that. And I see what you did for the jersey. Gotcha, Corbell. That's on me. I got you. All right, let's go to Blake Goodwin. Right now it's a $20 Venmo. I'm going to put Tuna in for a chance to win $30. Spytech first year at GM so far is doing amazing. Raider Nation for life. I'll also say this, and I don't remember where I saw it on social media today, but literally when I read it, I could not agree more. I don't know why so many Raiders fans are freaking out that the Raiders are doing exactly what the Seahawks have done, what the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have done, and I get it. Those two teams maybe for some people aren't, whatever, but those have been two very successful organizations over the past 5 seasons. I mean, over the past 10, both of them at least have a Super Bowl. The Buccaneers, I think, have done a great job developing talent. The Seahawks have always done a great job of developing talent. So, I understand that this might be a little bit unconventional to Raiders fans, but I think if you were to look at a lot of the way that some of these really good teams are built, the Raiders are doing it the right way. Raiders 5-1-0. All the mock drafts I'm doing as Sanders falling to us at 6. Is that a play in your opinion? Right now, no. I'll admit, when I first saw the Geno Smith deal go down, I didn't think as highly as Geno as I do now, and I thought that Shedeur Sanders would be the pick at 6. Now, quite frankly, I don't think that the Raiders draft a quarterback until day 3. I don't. If you're trying to win right now with this, which this team is trying to do, and Geno is better than any quarterback in this year's draft in year 1 right now. And you guys know how much I like Cam Ward. I do think Geno this year with the Raiders will be better than what Cam Ward would be in year 1. Cam Ward would be better. I would rather have him for the future. But to me, no, there's not a single quarterback in this year's draft that I have confidence in that could be better than Geno Smith over the next 3 years. And I think when he gets his contract, it's probably going to be a 2 to 3 year deal on top of that 1 year, tying him exactly to Pete Carroll. I actually think the Geno Smith deal is going to be 3 years because Pete's got that 4th year option. Chance, what's up, brother? Surprised Becton hasn't been signed by anyone. What the F are we waiting for? I actually think that Becton is probably in a spot where he's got an interesting market because he's really only got 1 good year. He was a former first-round pick, but he's had a lot of injuries, had a lot of concerns out there, and I bet you he's got some offers out on the table that are a lot bigger than from, maybe another team or so. And for a team like the Raiders, they haven't done anything on the offensive side of the football, I think because they are waiting cautiously, and, sometimes you got to do what you got to do, but the Raiders, to me, have gone out and they have gotten what they wanted because they've gone out and they've gotten, I'll say, needs. I think tomorrow could be a day that they go out and get some wants. And, I would still say that they need an offensive line. I'm talking more on the defensive side of the football. They're building in the trenches. That's what they're going out there. They're adding good depth pieces here to defense. Tomorrow, I could see them having the day where they're going to try to make a splash because everything becomes officially official. You get some extra money from Gardner Minshew and Andre James that you didn't have. You're going to be able to figure out exactly what that Geno Smith contract looks like. And I could see the Raiders to try to better position themselves knowing what they're going to spend. I think you could see the Geno Smith deal go down officially official tomorrow, probably somewhere around 4 p.m. Eastern time. We're going to be live on the Raiders Report breaking it all down for you. But that, to me, in my mind, is why I could see them not adding any players on the offensive side of the football, which hopefully makes sense out there. My man, Eric Sanchez, so far, y'all going to leave Sanchez out there in the middle of the dance floor dancing by himself. Scat Pack, Mitch, do you think we should grab Diggs if he's healthy? I don't mind the idea of going out and getting Diggs. He was one of the wide receivers that I had in my tier 2 list. He's, to me personally, I would actually rather, and I think the Raiders honestly also would rather, go out and get a player like Brandon Cooks, which Cooks probably isn't as talented as what Stephon Diggs is at this point of Cooks' career, but still can do that veteran thing where he's just a good all-around receiver. Also, Brandon Cooks won a Super Bowl with Tom Brady back in, 2017? So he's got some connections, at least, with some of these guys on our organization where I don't really know if Stephon Diggs does off the top of my head. Right now, I can't put it together. So if we're looking at a receiver probably in that where Diggs is 13, I think Cooks is probably a little bit closer to 6 or 7. I mean, DeAndre Hopkins just went for $6 million? So the market could be a lot lower than what we initially anticipated. Yeah, and I think it could be lower than we initially anticipated. We got Cats Joey thoughts. I'd love Genty at 1, but what if we get T-Mac at 6 and Caleb Johnson with the second pick? Okay, I see what you're saying. At first, I read it as, what if we get Genty at the first and Caleb Johnson with the second? I'm like, that's probably not a good idea how to build a team. I like the idea of going McMillan, oh my God, Teteroa, McMillan, and then going, Caleb Johnson is another good running back. I don't see them going with Caleb Johnson. You know what To me, if they take a running back that's got that skill set, I think it's Quinshawn Junkins. I really do. And I think that they try to wait. Johnson also didn't have the best combine, so maybe he falls a little bit more. This running back draft, I'll say this right now, is going to be one of the most interesting running back drafts where, I think you said it a few weeks ago, that we could have a run on running backs this year, kind of like we saw on offensive linemen last year, where I like DJ Glaze, but if you wanted an offensive line that probably was a 5th-round pick, you had to take him in the 3rd round. I almost wonder if that happens to some running backs. In my mind, Quinshawn Junkins and Trevion Henderson have to be off the board for them to take Caleb Johnson with the 2nd pick. But if they took him, I wouldn't be mad at all. I think he's a good back. Samwell, is there still a chance that Geno doesn't sign? Perhaps. I just had PTSD. Technically, yes. I mean, there is still a chance that that trade doesn't go through. I'll tell you this, though. It would be crazy because the Seahawks also technically agreed to a deal with Sam Darnold, 3 for 110. It's probably 99.9% sure it's going to happen. But I could also see why the Raiders haven't done anything on offense because it's not 100% sure, and they've played it safe. What up, Caden? I got you down there below. Mitch, draft Milroe and have him sit behind Geno. To me, if you're going to be the Raiders and you do draft a quarterback this season, I'm drafting either Kyle McCord, I'm drafting either Jalen Milroe. That's my list. I'm not kidding you. And I say that because, to me, those are guys that you're going to be able to get on day 3, and both of those players need at least 2 years to be able to develop. But you can't deny Kyle McCord's arm talent. And some people are going to go, what about Will Howard? I think Kyle McCord is a better version than what Will Howard is. But if they wanted to go with Howard, I guess I could wrap my mind because they just want a natty, but he needs 2 years to develop. Like, whatever quarterback they draft, if they draft one now, I believe that it's going to be somebody on day 3 that they say is high upside that they believe that they can develop in a few years. Mando, I should also say this. We are over 500 likes, so as soon as that clock hits 20, every single $10 super chat, we're playing tune o'clock here. We're going to put you on the jersey for my man Brandon Jasper. Mando, would you trade spot 6 for Jamar Chase? Yes. I would. And here's the thing, they would never do it. I actually don't think that they would do it. It's an interesting question, and it might be an unpopular opinion. And here's the thing, you got to go pay Jamar Chase then $40 million. But is there a better receiver in the NFL right now? I don't think so. We got to see what Geno Smith's got. And then I'll tell you this right now, if you were to do that at number 6, it would be more intriguing for me than to try to potentially invest in a quarterback, next year, and then Jamar Chase gets to work for a year or two with Geno Smith, and then if you're a young quarterback, you're telling me you wouldn't want to go play with Chase? I just don't think it would ever happen. Would you trade pick number 3 for Jamar Chase? Yes. I agree. Yeah, because we have Geno Smith. I would trade pick 6 for Jamar Chase. Giants have Aaron Rodgers. You would trade. Yep, I agree. Well, no, I mean, again, you got to pay him $40 million. You don't got to pay T-Mac $40 mil. But, yeah, man, I would. I actually don't even think it's that hard of a decision. The Bengals, though, they probably want your pick 6, your pick 2, and Jacoby Myers. I mean, in all honesty, if I was the Bengals, I would want something like that in return. Though they could put some serious talent around Joe Burrow, which they desperately need. Because you couldn't win with T. Higgins and Jamar Chase on their last contract. I'd be curious to see why they think they can win when they pay them more. T-Mac at 6, Watts at 37, Benjamin Morrison at 67, technically 68. I think that's a really good start. Get a really good athletic young corner. Get a really good athletic safety who obviously have played together at Notre Dame, and then you get a really good outside wide receiver. I think it's a good idea. Born a Raider, what position is needed for the offense and defense? So what position is needed? You could have just ended it right there. Offense, offensive guard, wide receiver would probably be the top 2 needs. I should say offensive tackle, guard, depending on what they think of DJ Glaze. And then on defense right now, it's corner, it's safety. Linebacker is still a need, but I actually think that the Raiders have done a better job filling their linebacker hole with Jeremy Chin, with Landon Roberts, then they have that free safety spot and that cornerback one spot. What's up, Bronson Ketchum? What do you think of Cam Scatabo in the 3rd or in the 4th? I'd rather in the 5th. And I only say that because I don't know how his skill set is going to translate in the NFL. I hope that I'm wrong, and he's the type of dude that probably is going to try everything in his power to prove me wrong. But I still think that Cam Scatabo might not be the best fit in every single NFL offense, and I kind of, we'll see. I hate Dalton Scatabo because he is that type of player that you want to root for. Everybody wants to root for him, and if you don't, man, I don't even know why we're even here. Let's go to Josh. Would you sign Asante Samuel Jr.? I would sign him. To me, that would be a good move. I think he's a good slot corner, knows the division, probably won't cost you all that much, and could be a good replacement for somebody like Nate Hobbs, because again, we still don't have that inside corner yet. Let's go to my man, Rustin Long. What's up, Rustin? Shout out to Tuna for the Tuna shot. Earlier, I was talking about Lockett or Cup, and I would be happy. So hyped for the draft and season. I'm happy so far about some of the moves. I like some of the moves as well. Again, they haven't been big old slam dunks in there, but they have been some good moves, under the radar moves by the Raiders. We got 16 minutes left of the show. Reminder, the deal is this. Every time we get a bang, we add 5 minutes to the clock. MDB Super Dave. Run with Geno a couple years, then sell the farm for Manning. 2026 potentially, Arch Manning, or could be 2027. If the Raiders go to the playoffs 2 out of the 3 years that Geno's the quarterback, I think that they try to hang on to him even for another year, and they try to go get Jeremiah Smith in 2027. That would be the craziest thing of all time. All right, crazy thing of all time is a little bit of a stretch, but it would be crazy. Let's go to Shane. What up, Shane? I believe we are all caught up on the Super Chats. I'd rather draft Tyler Shuck than Will Howard. Completely agree with you. I do. I completely agree. And I actually think a lot of our draft guys would agree with that statement as well, which might be an unpopular opinion, but I've watched a lot of Will Howard, and again, he was really good at the end, but my biggest concern with Will Howard is he had so much talent around him. Like, I bet you his wide receiver core at Ohio State, where do you think it ranks in the NFL right now? Emeka Egbuka, Jeremiah Smith, that 2 wide receiver duo, I'm not kidding you when I mean, that's like a top 15 wide receiver duo right now in the NFL, your top 2 guys. I mean, it's better. Jacoby Myers, Brock Bowers, I think are a little bit different, but I think most NFL teams, and this might surprise you, I think NFL teams would take Jeremiah Smith and Emeka Egbuka over Jacoby Myers and Brock Bowers right now. Actually, to be real, I actually don't know if it's all that close, and I think Brock's really good, but that's how good Jeremiah Smith is, and I think that's how good people think Emeka Egbuka is. And they're going up against college cornerbacks. So I just, that's what scares me about Will Howard, because he had that team I actually think could have been one of the greatest college football teams of all time on offense if their quarterback would have been a QB like a C.J. Stroud, a quarterback like even honestly like a Justin Fields. I think Will Howard scares the hell out of me, man. What's been the Raiders' best free agency signing so far? Also, reminder, it is a $20 Venmo at Mitchell Renz 365. Honestly, Jamari Murray's name made me, Mitch, you got a whole duck race going here. Pay attention a little bit. I see, wow, honestly, quite a few people got in. We got Rustin Long. What up, Rustin Long? I got you down there below. I see Soldier Man. Ooh, coming back for revenge. Gilbert Moreno. I got you, my dog. Anthony Green, you in. We got Corey Westbury. I got you in. I see Dean Cap. Gotcha. Jamari Murray. Gotcha. And then Roger Canales. Also got you. So right now it is a $20 Venmo for a chance to win $110. $110 to a winner on today's show, which I would say, Chugs, we'll probably do that duck race at the 2-minute mark. I'll send you the name. We'll stop taking names at the 2-minute mark. If that hits 2 minutes, There's no way that's true. Huh? What? Oh, I was literally like, are you kidding me? I mean, come on, man. Come on, man. All right, we got a deal. Yeah, that was what, 2 for 8? That must have been while I was doing that cut. Okay, that's why I was gonna say. I don't even remember that. Jamari Murray, I gotta add you, my dog. Do you know who that is? Do you know who that is? Simba! Get him in there. Maybe he's following what's his name, and he just saw Lincoln Tomlinson or something. I don't even know. Simba, what's going on, my dog? Tuna, who are your top 3 players you'd want to take at 6? Who do you want us to sign the most tomorrow? I love this one. And this is a unique 13.99er. I don't know if I've ever gotten one of those before. I would say my top 3 players that I would want the Raiders to take right now, Will Campbell, Armin Membow, McMillan. Those would be my top 3 players right now that I would take for the Raiders. If you told me out of all of those players and trade back, I pick trade back, if that's an option. Players tomorrow that I think that you could go out and see the Raiders get, I do think Tyler Lockett is a name that they get tomorrow. And I say that because once the trade becomes officially official, then the Lockett signing makes a lot more sense. And let's be real, if they would have signed Lockett, I don't know if I shouldn't say it would not have made sense. I just don't know if it makes as much sense if your quarterback isn't Geno Smith. And I say that again, it's going to happen tomorrow. It's just got to become officially official. Simba, shout out to you, my man. Appreciate you tuning in to today's show. I'm going to refresh my phone again. Reminder, once this clock hits 0, today's live show is going to end. What? You're making noises. You're freaking me out.
Oh, no. I was literally about to go to the next super chat, and the thing timed it out.
Oh, I got you. Tammy Bacchus, you're in. Chris Perez, I got you. You're in. Julius Escobar. I'm going to put you as Esco. Joe Jimenez, you're in. Joe Salas, you in. Ryan Bass, you in. So it's a 20 right now to win $170 here on the Raiders Report. So the Las Vegas Raiders, again, we went live for the breaking news that the Raiders went out and they signed cornerback Eric Stokes, former first-round pick, 29 overall from Georgia. And I wanted to go live as quick as I can. Shout out to Chugs for staying late. I'm not going to lie, when I was like, yo, can we stay? It was like, all right, man, like, I got it. And, I mean, it was like, it was like when one of your boys was trying to stay late at a bar because he's trying to talk to a girl, but he's too much of a bitch to do it by himself. You're like, I got you, bro.
That girl just happened to be Eric Stokes.
Or Raider Nation, however you want to put it. But seriously, shout out to him for staying, and I appreciate everyone that always tunes in to our shows here. But when breaking news happens, I wanted to be able to break it all down for y'all because I know yesterday when I went home, I had to make 2 extra videos. So if I can stay here at the studio and get them done here, I think it's just overall better content because I want people to know when we have the opportunity to, I come to the studio giggity and I get it done. What up, Born a Raider fan? Mason Graham, Jalen Walker, or Jahdae Barron at 6. If I can only pick between those players right there, man, I'll go with Mason Graham. And I can't believe I'm saying it, but I think Jahdae Barron would be the pick that some people might want them to go with because it's the biggest need in corner, and you'd probably get your corner 1. But I think I would just go best player available. And I don't know if – and quite frankly, I don't know why those would be the options because I think Jalen Walker's a good player. He was somebody that I was a little bit higher on, and then I started watching a little bit more tape on him. He's not a top, 10 prospect for me anymore. Mason Graham is the best guy. He's the best defensive tackle. And put Mason Graham next to Christian Wilkins, next to Malcolm Kuntz, next to so many other players that we have. Oh, my God. Jerry Danley! Bang! I didn't notice it until I saw the time increase. Jerry. Danley. All right, Jerry. You want to play a game? You want a balloon, Jerry? They float. They all float. This is going to go down at the 7-minute mark, unless we get another. If we get 2 more, I'll give y'all a boot for hanging out live with us tonight, man.
No.
It's going to cook me, though. I'm going to tell you that.
Jerry, an absolute real one. Is Jerry on the jersey yet?
I'm just going to I have so many names on it now. I am doing my best to remember, and if I can't remember, I do actually genuinely apologize for that. But also, if you send in anything like a bang, I'm just going to put you on again.
A lot of people confuse. This is not true. Quinn, I'm sorry. This is not true.
Yeah, no, that's not true.
Yeah.
He signed with the Arizona Cardinals.
Yeah. So
it was what, 1 for like 4?
Yeah.
I think it was a.
Thank you for the super chat.
Yeah.
It is not true, though.
I'll say this. If you're going to try to get me, shoot higher. You know what I'm saying? Like,
should have done it with a bang.
Like, if you're going to try to get me and chug, now maybe you did, maybe you got. That's fine. Or maybe, I shouldn't say it. Maybe he was actually trying to be nice and trying to, like, tell us, like, yo, like, we just got Zay Jones. The only part, but we got Zay Jones back. He hasn't been on our team in a long time. But I guess I would probably say the same thing. He's back. Nelson Aguilar back, right? Mando, NFL comp for T-Mac. I have been going with Drake London blended with Mike Evans because I think London is a really good route runner, and he's pretty underrated for it. Sure hands, which is what Mac has. But then when you watch McMillan sometimes go up for balls, it's kind of why I think Mike Evans has always been such a solid receiver, especially in the red zone.
A less athletic Julio Jones.
The only reason why I won't say that is because I've been saying Jeremiah Smith reminds me of Julio Jones. But I can hop on board with it. He's a little thin. He needs to put on some weight. He's a really good receiver. Like, to me, he's somebody with Geno Smith. I think McMillan could be a legit. I said top 20 the other day. People thought that was crazy, which maybe it is because we thought Marvin Harrison Jr. was going to be great right away. I think McMillan with Geno because they need a true X. After watching Geno film, we need somebody that is a true X receiver.
If he does get selected by the Raiders, he is Mike
Evans. The 49ers and wide receiver DeMarcus Robinson. 2-year, $9.5 million deal. So he's a bit of a speedster. I'm not going to lie. I think it's a weird move for San Francisco. Because I look at DeMarcus Robinson not being as a replacement for Debo. If I was the Niners and I make that move, I almost think that that's like a Brandon Ayuk move. If they trade Brandon Ayuk in the next 24 hours, I'm going to say I called it. Imagine Brandon Ayuk in a Raiders uniform. That'd be kind of fun. Be kind of fun. Uh-oh. Oh, boy.
What?
Raider Ron's here. Dun, dun, dun. Ron, I'll just, because I already have you on the jersey. I don't know if you know that. What's up, Misty? I think I actually already have Misty as well.
My prayers go out to the Jasper family. If we trade back, which teams do you think would want to trade up to number 6?
This is why Misty's a real one. I appreciate that, Misty. If we trade back, which teams do you think we could want and trade up to 6? The Dallas Cowboys are interesting.
Yeah, you'll have to think of like.
Let me go to the NFL draft order.
You have to think of a position that is at a top position that there's not a lot of great talent there. So I'm thinking my top 2 I'm thinking are offensive tackle and wide receiver with either Mimbu or T-Mac being on the board. I don't think a team trades up for Ginty. I don't think a team trades up for like one of these corners, in my opinion.
Okay.
I'm thinking of offensive line, and I'm thinking of wide receiver. Some people that come to mind immediately, 49ers and Cowboys both need wide receivers
11 and 12.
Linemen. They're sitting there at 11 and 12. I have to look at the draft order again.
So right now, here's the draft. Raiders are at 6, Jets 7, Carolina's at 8, New Orleans is 9, Bears 10, Niners 11, Cowboys 12, Dolphins 13, Colts 14, Atlanta 15, Arizona 16, 17, Cincinnati, Seattle 18.
I could see also with the craziness something happening like
Do any of those teams need an offensive tackle?
Well, I was going to say, I could see craziness of, oh, shit. Wild one!
14! Bang! Oh, man. Mitchell Renz just got bad news. If I got Wild One banging on a show, that means he's feeling dangerous. And when he starts anything out with Ron.
My brother finally texted me back about Eric Stokes. He said, yeah, good, former first-round pick. Hella injury-prone, but fast as fuck.
Fastest boy. Did we add time? Oh, son of a gun. I was like, did we add the time? All right, you already know, man. If one goes down, Wild One, I got to put you on here. I'm going to put you on. I'm just going to put you as a big old 14.
If he can stay healthy.
He's got to stay healthy.
That's the thing. Best ability is availability. And my brother just said that's his biggest weakness is he's been injured a ton.
So he started 14 games as a rookie.
Yeah.
Okay. Then he played in 9, sophomore year, got hurt. As a third year, played, in only 3 games. Last year, played in all 17, but started only 7. I get the move. To me, though, I like the idea of if Jack Jones and Stokes can battle for that cornerback 3 spot, I like that idea a lot more. Because what I didn't want to happen was the Raiders are just bringing in number 1. Jacorian's number 2. Jack's going to end up being number 3. My other concern, though, with this is we still need a guy in the slot. And I still think we need a true number 1 corner. Maybe I'm wrong for saying that, but that's kind of what I think.
You heard it here first.
What up, Frank?
Tyler Shuck, third quarterback drafted. Possibility behind.
I'll be real. You're not
Cam
the
and
first
Shador.
person to tell me that first, though.
Behind Cam and Shador, it's a huge question mark of who's the next.
One of our NFL draft guys, and I haven't seen his latest rankings, but one of the things he told us as soon as we came back from the combine, he goes, Tyler Shuck will be the 3rd quarterback drafted in this year's class. That was uttered at Chat Sports probably about 2 weeks. Now, again, a lot of NFL combine buzz, but that was a name that a lot of people like that I don't know if people have really heard about. I actually heard from a few people that they think that he's better than a Jackson Dart, that he thinks that he's more ready to be an NFL quarterback in year 1 because Dart's not ready. He's not close to being ready for a year or 2, I would say. Shuck, some people will say, is more ready right now, which, though I would say Jackson Dart might have higher upside. Raider Ron, we trade for Drake London, swap first with Atlanta, give a 2025 third and a 2026 fourth. We receive 2025 third from Atlanta. Pete and team are sneaky with people they know. USC ties. It would be interesting. Hear me out. What were you going to say?
I was just going to say, I don't know if the Falcons are willing to trade Drake London. I mean, maybe if they're willing to if they really want Tet McMillan. I don't know.
Hang on.
I just don't think that the Falcons would want to trade Drake London. I think, didn't they just give him a contract?
It's a good question. I was also going to say this, Ron, and I like the creativity. I really, really, truly do. But to me, if you wanted to draft a Drake London, I think you could kind of get him at number 6 without trading anything, and you're going to be able to get it at a discounted rate with already with T-Mac. Plus, I'm going to be McMillan already has ties to this coaching staff. He played at Arizona. He's already very well tied in. It was actually, we showed it yesterday on the show. I forget where you were. I forget who was actually the one with me who showed it, but it's the clip of McMillan saying that he has a really good relationship with this Raiders coaching staff. It's the video we have from the combine.
Interesting.
Yes.
Brandon, why all D players? We have signed nobody on the offense. Alex Kappa.
So Alex Kappa is somebody they trust, and my theory on why the Raiders haven't signed anybody on offense is because this organization has been playing it safe, and they've been doing things that they are very confident about, dotting their I's, crossing their T's. But to me, the trade for Geno Smith doesn't become officially official until tomorrow. So imagine if you go out and you add all these players to an offense that you think in your mind is going to have Geno Smith at your quarterback, and then God only knows what could happen. Again, it's the Raiders. You never know. But then now you don't have Geno Smith as your quarterback anymore. You're kind of, you really kind of screw yourself. So to me, I think the Raiders are dotting all their I's, crossing their T's on the defensive side of the football. Once that trade becomes officially official tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern time, that's when I think that you're going to start seeing a lot of these other Raiders moves really get going on the offensive side of the football. There was a part of me that thought I was going to be able to get away without doing a full boot. So that was dumb of me. Wild 1-14. Bang! Wow, one. Wow, one. Burn it. All right. I owe you guys a one. I got you. I got you.
You said 2 more, and here's my number 2. Well, get the boot and drink one in honor of my brother, Ron LaGoat. All right. Hell yeah. Oh, wow. Raider Ron Bay.
Hang on. Holy shit. Raider roll and said, I'm down to clown if you're down to clown. I'll tell you this. It's not too often I get the guy who made me think of the idea of Mount Raidermore in the building. So what I want you all to do is whoever can spam RR the most and whoever can spam 14 the most, I'm going to put you on the Brandon Jasper jersey. I want to see it. I love when we get some of our OG watchers. I mean, Ron, how many years has it been since we've hung out? You guys want to hear a funny Raider Ron story? You guys want to hear a funny Raider Ron story? Who should we put on the jersey? I'll let you pick.
Raider Prime.
All right, Raider Prime. Give me one more.
Let's see. Mike Nintendo Master.
That's all right, Mike. You're gonna be you're gonna be Mike N64. I think that's fair.
I think that's fair.
I think that's more than fair. All right, here's my funny Raider Ron story. Ron, am I allowed to tell the story about when you and I went to the, I guess you call it what, a vineyard? Am I allowed to tell how that day ended? Am I allowed? Or I mean, how about this? I'll tell you the entire day a little bit here. Again, if anybody wants to get questions in, please do it. Hashtag Raider Super Chat. My day with Raider Ron was, there was probably 3 years ago. I had the opportunity to meet his daughter, and I don't know if she's still dating that guy. I don't really know. But hope they're happily together. So I get to meet them. It's my boss James and I. We go out and we get some beers. We get a little bit of lunch at this spot, and frickin' Ron, dude, pulls up in this. I don't know what kind of car. It's a Corvette something. It's a nice car. Let's just say that. Ron comes up, man, pulls up. He's got his sunglasses on, looking all swaggy. And it's really cool for me because that was the first time I actually finally got to meet Ron. So I was like, all right, man, this is really dope. So we get to go to this vineyard, and it's a really nice vineyard. It's good wine. It's a nice vineyard. Also, I brought James because I thought Uncle James was going to be paying. So James was paying, and then we're getting all this wine, and we're drinking some wine. You know what I'm saying? And I think for people who don't usually drink wine, it's a different type of, you're getting faded quickly. And we're I don't know how many bottles we went through with the 5 of us. Let's just say Ron had to take a little siesta on the grass. He was taking a little nappy poo at a nice vineyard in California after some wine. Let's just say that, Ron. It was by far it was a great day. Ron, I hope you don't hate on me for sharing that story. That was one of the most fun days that I've had. I can actually also remember that day because it was like my first tattoo, and Ron had his he had like his whole sleeve or whatever, and we were comparing tattoos and stuff. That was a hell of a day, Ron. That'll be one of those days that'll live with me for a long time. Do we really get some comp picks from Dorian? The way that I would look at it is this. The comp picks became officially official. So when I've sat up here on this show, I knew that the Raiders were going to get 2 6-round comp picks. That's why anytime you've seen any of my mock drafts, you'll see that I had it as 12, 212, and 214 because it was already projected. It was already known by all the mock drafts databases out there that it was going to be right around that area. So the Raiders essentially just now, about an hour, 2 hours ago, it became officially official that they were able to get those extra comp picks. It's technically 213 and 215. So I've sat up here and just said it's 9 picks. But now it is technically officially official that the Raiders ended up getting those 9 picks, which I hope that y'all don't mind. But it would be one of those things and I just talked about the whole Geno Smith thing. It would almost be like if tomorrow I were to do an entire video on the Raiders re-signing Adam, or not re-sign, but by the Raiders signing, I don't know, I'm trying to think of, Eric Stokes, right? We know that we're going to get him. It would be like me just doing a whole another video tomorrow and being like, the Raiders have officially got Eric Stokes. That would be maybe my analogy. What's up, Born a Raiders fan? Do you think Dart is going in the first round? I'll be real, no idea where Jackson Dart goes. Quite frankly, I think he might be, if you told me right now the last player that I would want to take a bet on where he goes in the draft, I think it's Jackson Dart. For the first and second round guys. Because there are some people that think he could be drafted as high as the top 10 I've seen. I've also seen people like Malik Willis get drafted and mocked in the top 5, and then he don't go until the 3rd round. It's going to come down to if one team falls in love with him, like the New York Giants a few years ago with Danny Dimes. They took him at number 6? That's all it takes sometimes. If I was a betting man, though, I don't think Jackson Dart gets taken in round 1. Maybe I'm wrong. You do? Exactly. See, that's why I love it. Is he going to get taken in round 1? Y for yes, N for no. Born a Raider fan. What quarterback in the draft would you develop under Geno Smith, Jalen Milroe, or Kyle McCord? Because the only quarterback that I think could actually compete with Geno in the next 3 years is Cam Ward. There's not another quarterback that I think is even close to how good Geno Smith is and how good Geno Smith can be with Chip Kelly, this offense that we put together. And I don't think that there's any young guy that's going to be able to compete with him in the next 2 to 3 years where you're going, that guy needs to play over Geno. So because of that, I'm going to go with the home run swing. I'm going to go with somebody that I think is a true alien in Jalen Milroe, somebody who showed that he could be a much better passer in 2023. But after he lost Nick Saban and lost a lot of pieces around him, he really struggled. And Jalen is one of those guys that's got it right up here. He's got that right mentality, and he's a super big project. And I'm not even going to sit up here and get it twisted. But if you believe in Chip Kelly, let's go out and get Jalen Milroe. But I also think Kyle McCord, somebody you can get on day 3, who has a lot of arm talent. And I know he left Ohio State to go to Syracuse, but he's a gunslinger. He can chuck the rock. And if you get his mechanics down, I think he's better than Will Howard. I think if Kyle McCord would have stayed, they would have won the Natty, and they would not have lost the game this year. What up, Brian James? Is safety Stephon Gilmore a free agent? Yes, he is. I also think it could be worth a look. I actually said it might have been during my Eric Stokes take during the video, or it might have been right when I first started, but if you were the Raiders, that was creepy, and you want to go bring in a veteran cornerback to, kind of teach Eric Stokes, and I feel like I've said this statement maybe too much, quite frankly, but like a bridge, whatever. We always talk about bridge quarterback. Can we find a bridge corner? Because Stephon Gilmore, the traits he has are a lot of the similar traits that Stokes has, but Stokes has been unhealthy, and I don't know if he's had the best situations around him. If I was Eric Stokes, you told me right now I get to learn underneath Stephon Gilmore, and Gilmore's 34 years old on a 1-year prove-it deal. I think that's a really interesting move, quite frankly. It's not going to cost a lot either. Gilmore's a really good – he's probably the best corner you can get right now on a 1-year prove-it deal that you could start. Is that a crazy statement? Kendall Fuller actually is another really good answer to that. I think Kendall Fuller low-key could be the guy that they're going to go out and they're going to try to get. Let's go to Dane. Kendall's got a lot of connections. Gannon, do you think Geno is better? Been a fan since longer than you've been alive. Do I think Geno's better than Rich Gannon? That's probably hard to say. Rich Gannon won an MVP. I hope. How about that, right? But I'll say this. So Rich Gannon was 34 years old. Everybody thought Rich Gannon wasn't good anymore. What happened? Rich Gannon got into the right system, got into the right feel, and he ended up being that guy because sometimes all you need is a little bit of extra confidence. And, Gannon had that. He was a good distributor of the football. He could spray it all around the field. To me, that's somebody what Geno Smith is. 34 years old, about to be 35, a good true pros pro that's going to be able to spray the ball all around the field. You just got to do the little things. And like the Raiders, if they protect them, there's going to be opportunities for the Raiders to win down the field. Geno is a damn good quarterback, man. Let's go to Raider Ron. Share the Napa story. The Napa story. I also realize that I owe another. Huh? Mm-hmm. I'll tell you this right now. Ron technically had two Napa stories. He had the Napa Valley story and then his Napa that he took in the grass. Ron might have two Napa stories. All I can remember is I look over and Ron is laying in the grass. Again, we are at a vineyard in Napa Valley, and Ron is like cashed out on wine. It was unbelievable. Ron, do you remember what vineyard that was? Because it was a nice vineyard. Like legit, it was a really nice vineyard. We walked in with all our Raider stuff, and they were probably like, "Are you guys supposed to be here?" We were decked. Ron was decked the F out in Raider stuff. What up, Silver Surfer? Not going to lie. I'm going to have to pee soon. If somebody else bangs, I will have to go pee. Sebastian who? Oh, is that the name? Sebastian? Let's see. I'll know it. Sebastian Napa. Well, what I just looked up, I don't think is it. Sebastian Vineyards and Winery. Yep. If anybody wants to go get wine, it's called Sebastian. Oh, it's this. Here's the name. Yep. Sebastini Vineyard and Winery. Yeah, I was going to say, I typed in Sebastian Napa, and you don't want to go there. I don't think that's a place anybody wants to go to. It first popped up. It was a Napa Auto Parts, Cool Auto Supply, Inc. If that's where we went, I mean it, you should all stop watching this show right now. Oh, man. Wild one. Waiting for Mitch in the dolphin costume. You'd have to, on a free agency type of day, for me to even consider something like that, somebody better hit a gong. It's the only way, dude. Because here's the thing, and I'm just being real. God forbid, and I say God forbid because I would want the Raiders to do something big. There's going to be a lot of people that see me for the very first time. Imagine, you're breaking down, the Raiders just signed Kendall Fuller, and this clown is in a Dolphins costume. He was a Dolphin. Yeah, all right, I'm kind of in. No, I'm just kidding. I'm telling you this, I did say this, and I meant it. If the Raiders would have traded for DK Metcalf, I would have done that show shirtless. DK, the dap up, shirtless. I will be okay drafting a quarterback this year and draft a lot of our other needs and pick a quarterback next year. What do you think? And what do you think, Chugs? I am okay with the idea. Again, if the Raiders want to draft a quarterback, I'm going to be on board with what they decide to do. My job here is to be able to try to paint a picture of sometimes of like what they're going to do. If they draft a quarterback in the first 2 rounds, I'm going to go, the plan is to have Geno Smith as the quarterback for 2 years and then hand the keys to the car in 2027 when Maxx Crosby's contract takes a little bit of a step down. That makes sense to me. If they don't draft a quarterback until day 3, I'm going to go, they believe in Geno Smith. They're going to try to develop this kid who they think is a high, upside guy, but is a bit of a project. Like, to me, either of those options are okay. We'll see what ends up happening because I'll tell you this, if the Raiders' offensive line is good, and I just need it to be average, Geno Smith is going to shock a lot of people. He's really going to shock a lot of people. I hope that sounds good. All right, Chugs. We got a $20 Venmo at Mitchell Renz 365. Reminder, if this clock gets down to 2, I'm sending the list to Jeremy Chugs. If you want to extend this bad boy, you want to extend it, $100, 5 extra minutes on the clock, throwing back a beer bong here on today's show. The people that are getting in the duck race, it is a $20 Venmo at Mitchell Renz 365. All right, somebody, I will admit, that's crazy. Somebody asked me, 500 Venmo, 30 extra minutes.
I guess. I mean,
I know.
You said an hour and it's been 2, so what's more? What's more time?
All right, sounds good. Yeah, deal's on. Alfredo. Bronson. Ketchum. Timmy Jones. And then Ricky Hutch. You in. Raymond Sanchez. You in. All right, so we got 20 to win, 230 as it stands right now. Chugs, I'm going to send you this list. Oh, wait, let me send it to TV. It's on me. I just saw something pop up about the Texans, but it's just Aaron Wilson. All right, I got that in there. I got you. All right, so. Oh, that's kind of crazy. Whoa! 114! Bang! Oh, man. I'm afraid to say yes to that. I'm afraid to say yes to it. We're adding 5 more minutes. I'm going to say this. If you're going to hit the gong and I got to wear a dolphin costume, if I'm being real with you, like if Wild One does it, to be real, like I would want other people to also make it worth it and go crazy. Because I'm going to do the math, right? It's going to be then 10 minutes, 15 minutes, dolphin costume. You get 12 minutes of dolphin costume. Like, if Wild One does some crazy shit like that, I want people also to pull up here a little bit. I don't want to put that on anyone, though. You know what I'm saying? I mean, at this point, we're getting into murky waters, but I have to pee so bad, dude. I'm going to push. We're going to push through. You're going to have to try to make me pee my pants, I guess. To Wild One. 2 away from a gong. Man. Hang on a second. I am going to leak out my belly button, dude. Oh, that's on me, Dean. I've followed you for a year now. You're doing a fantastic job. Are you saying I'm doing a good job? Or are you wondering if I'm doing a good job? Because either or, I think I could rally behind right now. You're like, are you doing a good job? I don't really know, man. I don't really know. All right, so I sent you the list of TV, right? We checked it twice. Yeah, I'll be real. I didn't check it twice. All right, so we also have, all right, so I got Raymond Sanchez, Luis Rod. So it's a 20 right now to win 240, dude. I'm gonna bust out the seams. I gotta take a leak. I'm not gonna lie to you. Holy shit, dude. Whoa! 114! Bang! Oh, God. Ah, dude. The anticipation. Thrilling is an adjective that I don't know if that's the one I would have used. I'm telling you this right now. There's been a few times on this show, the Steelers are finalizing a 1-year deal with Kenneth Gainwell. Dude, what did they want? Oh. Where do you think he goes? You think he's a Giant or a Steeler? You think? I'll say this. If I was Rodgers, I would rather stay in New York. I would. I would rather stay with the New York Giants than the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I say it because of this. I think Aaron Rodgers on the New York Giants has a better chance to win a division than if he goes to the Pittsburgh Steelers. I don't think he's beating Baltimore. I don't think that the Steelers are better than Baltimore. Joe Burrow's a dog. We'll see how that goes. The Browns stink. But the Eagles, I get it. Super Bowl champion. We've seen Super Bowl hangovers, though. Commanders got Jaden Daniels. Maybe they feel a little bit too confident. You go out there. I also don't know the schedule. That actually could be a big reason. Like, the Raiders' schedule this season is a little bit easier. Dude, I don't know. Actually, now that I say that out loud, you got the Commanders, you got the Cowboys. Where do you think is easier to get in a playoff spot, wild card wise, AFC or NFC? Because I would say an Aaron Rodgers-led team's NFC bound. Dude, it's tough. Honestly, now like I'm thinking about it, I'm going, I initially I thought NFC would be easier, and then I was like, well, the NFC East is... This might be lame of me. I actually might switch up my answer to Pittsburgh. Cold, he played in Green Bay. At least the Browns are bad, and you know they're going to be bad. I don't know if he goes to the Giants. I don't know if there's a team in the East that's bad. Oh God, I hope so. After Nico Harrison thing, there's nothing that would make me happier than the Cowboys also to be bad. I'm also going to be real, y'all. When this goes down, I got to go pee. I got to go pee because it's going to be a disaster. What? 3, 2, 1, let's run it. Oh, dude. All right. I'm done with Happy Dads for a little bit. We're going to Fireball or something, man. Somebody's going to go home. Whoever comes in last place, I'm going to send you a bag of my urine. Whoever comes in first place, you're going to go home with $240, dude. $240. You know what's crazy? If there's one person on this planet to make me pee my pants live on a show, it's probably Wild One. The Wolfman! He won earlier today. Uh-oh. That's not good. That is not good at all for me, potentially. And now I got Lord Buddy Bear in here. Oh, boy. All right. We're going to have to do this after I go pee. Nathan, I promise you I will send you the money.
Mitch is sprinting out of the room. So, yeah, there we go. Eric Stokes hitting the news one more time. Signed to the Raiders 1 year, $4 million. Injury-prone corner. Oh, Wild 114. He's got your back. Raider Ron Bang! My wife telling me to come home. I've been at work for 12 hours. Come home, please. Lord Buddy Bear. I think Reds, our words, win that division over the Eagles. Giants and Steelers fans don't get it. Rodgers is going to take his time. Might be weeks before he signs. Raider run! Bang! I was told my my Raider run bang wasn't that good from last time. Luis says, I think I was missed on that race. Yeah, maybe. I don't think I see your name on here either, Luis. I'll ask Mitch whenever he gets back. There we go. Thank you, Matt. Appreciate that, Matt.
If I'm going to be a Dolphin, I'm at least going to be a Raider Dolphin. All right? That's how this thing's going. And I'm going to tell you this right now. If you're new to this show, there is occasionally times where we get kind of crazy here. Again, it's a YouTube channel. Let's have a little bit of fun once in a while. But I'll tell you this. If I'm going to be a Dolphin, I'm going to be a Raider Dolphin. If I'm going to be a Dolphin, it's going to be a Raider Dolphin. Somebody said, what even from Def Halo? So this is actually a Dolphins costume. Maybe. Raider Dolphin. Jonathan Smith, you know, man, today felt like one of those days where, again, we were fishing all day, and now I'm in a Dolphins costume. Maybe I set myself up for failure. Whoa! I can't pick it up. 14! God, is that loud? Whoa! 14! Let's go! You bang 5 times on the Raiders report. You're getting a mother effing gong. Wild one. Wow, and have I sent you a Raiders report hat yet? How many you need, Wild one? How many you need? Let me know, my man. Corey Osborne, Mitch's 3 sheets for sure. What does that mean? 3 sheets? I don't even know what that means. I'll tell you this right now. I'm just going to say this is a baby shark. There's at times when I watch this, but Infamous, it's all good, bro. I'll tell you this right now. If one of my buddies looked the way I do, I would probably take a picture. You got to live in the moment first, though. We had that discussion earlier on live. You live in the moment first, but then take a pic. Here's the thing, though. When Eric Stokes, Stein, this is your fault. Wow, Ron, everyone. When Eric Stokes signed with the Raiders, it's one of those moves where when shit happens, I like to talk about all the Raiders' moves. And then even today, I literally constructed an entire video I was going to do for y'all tonight on why I thought the Raiders didn't do any moves today, because I was trying to figure out why. Like, to me, how are all these reports coming out that we're going to be this uber aggressive team, or lift, whatever you want to pick, but super aggressive team going out there and trying to find all these players? And then, you know, it's kind of been the last 2 days. In my mind, there has to be a reason why, because I do trust this regime, and I think everything that they're doing is very, you know, thought out. And to me, the only thing that possibly made any sense was, are they waiting for that trade with Geno Smith to become officially official? Are they waiting to see how much money they're about to give him? And then after they know all that, then they can better assess of, okay, here's the guys that we're, oh, God, I almost spilled my beers. Here are the guys that we're going to be able to, you know, bring in. like, to me, that thought process makes a lot more sense. And I hope Raiders fans aren't, jumping off a cliff right now with what they're not doing. Screw 32 said he's still on. On is questionable. The lights are on. I don't know if anyone's home. You could ring the doorbell right now, and I don't know if anyone's going to answer. Shout out to Ron Raspberry for spamming tuna down below, though. Seriously, and I mean this. Luis, I thought I got you in, bro. Did I not get you in? Oh, you know what? I don't know if I actually ever sent that to... That's on me, Luis. I got you. So, again, for those that don't know, Chugs and I, we're going to be live tomorrow. What, you thinking like 11? So, noon Eastern time tomorrow. And we're going to do all the free agency stuff again. We're going to try to cover all the late night stuff. If anything does happen, if anything happens late tomorrow, I'll be live and I'll kind of break it all down. Same for, tonight. If anything else happens breaking news style, I'll just go, if it's big news, really big news, we probably come back in, or I just go live from home again. But I do appreciate people that rock with us all day. It's kind of crazy to me sometimes that people can actually, sit up here and kind of watch the show and kind of do its thing. So I appreciate it, man. Get me canceled for what? Wild one, tell Mitch to check his Venmo. I think I did that one. Yep. 3 sheets to the wind, bro, means you're drunk. I feel good. I mean, I hate even saying this out loud because it does sound late to me. There's a times where I do this often where you kind of learn how to stay, in your lane. I explained it to my dad the other day is, when I do the Raiders Report show, the fact actually that I can stare at a camera and it helps me focus because we have a screen right in front of us. It kind of helps me focus as if a horse with its blinders, which there's probably horses out there that could probably read better than me right now, but that doesn't surprise anybody. Laugh, I appreciate y'all. There are times where, don't get me wrong, I love and I wish I could hang out with my fiance tonight. I'm not gonna lie to you. I haven't seen her in many days, and I'm sure Chug's in the same boat. But there is that part of me where I am a fan at the end of my day, and I like to be able to talk about these things. So when the Raiders do something, I want to be able to hang out and talk with all y'all, and I hope that people can always come here and they can chill and know it's gonna be a cool place. I say that with this outfit, but it is what it is. Mr. Hot Cheese, did anyone sign our past coach and GM? Yes. Antonio Pierce, no. Sorry, I honestly thought about it as Josh McDaniels and Tom Telesco. Both of those guys have jobs. Telesco right now is the assistant GM of the Titans. McDaniels is the OC of the New England Patriots. In terms of AP, I don't think so. And if this might not be, I'm not trying to speak out of pocket, but I would say if I was AP, I would try to figure out some of the other stuff I got going on right now, and then I would focus on coaching again. But he'll get another opportunity. Unless whatever's going on with that Arizona State thing, if that turns out to be really, really bad, which I only know a little bit about it, haven't really read up totally on it, but he will get another opportunity. He is a good motivational speaker, and he is a good linebackers coach, and there's nothing wrong with somebody who's maybe not built to be a head coach. But I'll say this, if I was a team, let's say 10 years down the road, right, and I had an offensive coordinator like a Chip Kelly, I actually would wonder, and this might be crazy to say because I get it, AP did really struggle last season, and this is, I guess, where we're going here. But with AP with Chip Kelly, AP with Cliff Kingsbury and Jaden Daniels, I think it could have been, it could have worked. The hat makes it, dude. The hat makes it a little bit more ridiculous. The jacket, what would be crazy, we got to do this one time. We're going to do it some random Thursday Night Football stream next year. I'm going to dress like this. And everybody in the chat, all the OGs, you're going to know it. I'll tip you up. You'll know. And we're just going to go with it. People are going to be like, why is this guy wearing a dolphin costume? Or whatever. And we're just, what are you talking about? I'm literally dressed normal. And if we get enough people to go along with it, I wonder if people will sit there and be like, am I going crazy right now? The answer is probably. Wild one. Hot chips, dolphin costume, and the cheese whiz is my next things to do to Mitch for Raider Nation on my bucket list. Oh, dude. All right, well, I'll make you a deal because I'll tell you this right now. I'm pretty cooked, okay? And I always try to be pretty honest with all y'all. And because this is free agency, I do always want to at least be alert enough to be able to do my job at some point. So the show is about to end here. Jerry Danley. Shout out to you, bro. Jerry, I already have you on there. But yeah, Jerry, I already got you. I'll put Danley. Oh boy. Smith Duncan! Bang! Smith frickin' Duncan, dude. Unbelievable. Here's the thing, though, okay? And I mean this. I got to get out of here right now. And that boot kind of did me pretty bad. Smith Duncan, I'll get you a beer bong tomorrow. You have my debt. You officially have my debt. My deal to you, Wild One, is this. Okay? It's this. I'm going to give you a chip deal tomorrow, and I'll give you a cheese whiz deal on Thursday. If you're a first-time watcher, that's a crazy statement I just made. And in honor of Tuna, because you did it for Tuna, and I know how you are, I'm gonna give you a deal for a can of tuna. And that might not seem like a big deal to some people out there, but as I'm wearing this costume, I feel like this is the most realist way I could do this. Anybody that knows me, I think tuna is the most disgusting thing. I really do. Canned tuna, can't do it. I'll give you a deal on Friday, Wild One. I'm telling you, my headset's falling off. Hang on. My fin is getting in the way. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I will have a Wild One deal. And they're going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. Save it. All right, y'all. Oh, man, we added time. Whew. That's bad news for Mitch. Mitchell Renz. I want a can of tuna. Dude, does anybody actually like canned tuna? Joey Bosa to the Buffalo Bills. What do we think? I think it's a great deal for Buffalo, dude. What do you think? Joey Bosa. Joey Bosa to the Giants. What do you think? Look at your phone. Look at your phone. Look at your phone. Joey Bosa. Oh, sorry, I read it wrong. I thought it said Giants. Joey Bosa to the Buffalo Bills. Yes. I read it wrong. They look similar. They look similar. Dude, I'm not going to lie. It's monetizable. I mean, a video definitely needs to happen. I think just get the VOD out. VOD subs. Yeah. Get some food. Joey Bosa to the Bills. Wild, dude. I did say it. I freaked you out. Oh, I've been there. This one goes out to Wild 114 Raider Ron. Thanks, guys. And Mitch, thank you for all the hard work. Getting lit with the Raider family is hell of a way to spend my night. And, again, I don't want people to do, reckless stuff when they watch the show. I also want you guys to know that I live close enough to work and I've done this on purpose the last, 5 or 6 years where I walk home. So, don't ever think that I do anything dumb. We do a lot of stuff dumb on here, but I would never do anything like that. So, we are responsible, at least in that regard. Wow. Wild one hit the gong, so we're in this outfit. But, hey, baby shark, dolphin, whatever you want to call it. But, I'm going to be honest. I forget where I was going with this. Raider family hanging out. Oh, when we designed the show, though, when we first did it out in Oakland, like Oakland style, when people, the idea was you got to be over 21, obviously. But when somebody would bang, like imagine if everybody, so right now we got 1,000 people watching. Imagine if 1% of those people all was like, all right, Smith Duncan just banged. If Mitch is going to do a beer bong, I'm going to do a beer bong. And there was actually one guy, he's been telling me on Instagram, instead of doing a beer bong, I respect him for it, he does 10 push-ups. He's like, he's like, I listen and I'll watch, and he's like, I'll do 10 push-ups. But I don't know what he does for work. Like, he said he doesn't work from home. Because I was like, do you just, like, stand at home and listen? But imagine just, like, walking around and just be like, all right. 12.6 on a 1-year deal. I mean, he's a great player. Yeah. My question is, though, if you're chasing a chip, are you going to Buffalo? Like, are they? I don't know what the Josh Allen contract looks like. Maybe they're saying, you know what, we're gonna lower the shit out of your cap in this year, and we're gonna freaking go for it. I don't know. I don't know what his cap looks like. What up, Matthew Leo? Joey Bosa. Alicia Trent, Mitch, thank you for all the content. What do you think about signing Elijah Moore, and can I get a Raiders? Raiders! Elijah Moore, good wide receiver. Cleveland, probably about 24, 25 years old guy. I mean, to me, you already have a little bit of a possession receiver. I don't really view him as a deep threat. Maybe I don't know him all that well, but in my mind, that's not really how I view him. To me, I think they're going to go out and they're going to try to find somebody that can stretch the field like a Tyler Lockett. We'll see. Rachel Peters. Wild one is spending his whole stimulus check. Is that good or bad? I don't know. I'll tell you this. Every time I talk to Wild One, dude's working. I'm not kidding you. Every time I ever FaceTime Wild One, dude's working. I think people... I try to work a lot too. Believe it or not. What's weird, though, you guys see... Honestly, you probably only see 40% of what I do at Chat Sports. 50%. We do a lot of stuff like behind-the-scenes stuff too, but... All right. You hear that? Microwave's beeping. It's time to get it out. It's a little bit overcooked. I'm going to be back tomorrow on this show somehow at noon. Noon Eastern time, 9 a.m. Pacific. You're going to see me on this show. Wild One, legendary shit today. I'm going to give you a deal Wednesday, Thursday, and on Friday. Wednesday, Thursday, and on Friday. Wild One, Raider Ron. See you guys.